Allusion in poetry. Allusion. Allusion. Allusion in poetry is a reference to a person, place, event, or work of art that is outside the text itself. It's a way to create a richer meaning. Richer. Richer meaning. Evoke emotions. Evoke emotions and add depth to the poem. Allusions draw on shared cultural knowledge. Allusions create layers of meaning and interpretation. Allusions establish connections between text and ideas. Allusions add complexity and nuance to the poem. Nuance to the poem. Allusions engage the reader's prior knowledge and experience. Types of allusions. Literary allusion. Literary. Literally allusion. References to other literary work. References to other literary works. Historical allusion. Historical. Historical allusion. References to historical events or figures. Mythological allusion. Mythological. Mythological allusion. References to myths or legends. Biblical allusion. References to the Bible or biblical stories. Cultural allusion. Cultural. Cultural allusion. References to cultural icons or symbol. References to cultural icons or symbols. Examples of allusion in poetry. T.S. Eliot's The Waste Land. The Waste Land. Allusions to Shakespeare, Dante, Dante, and mythological figures. Sylvia Plath's Tulips. Tulips. Allusion to Van Gogh, Vangogh. Allusion to Van Gogh's sunflower paintings. Langston Hughes, Langston. Langston Hughes, Hughes. The Negro Speaks of Rivers. The Negro Speaks of Rivers. Allusion to the Bible and African American spirituals. Emily Dickinson's Because I Could Not Stop for Death. Because I Could Not Stop for Death. Allusion to Christian theology and imagery. Walt Whitman's Song of Myself. Song of Myself. Allusions to Homer, Homer. Allusions to Homer, Shakespeare, and the Bible. To analyze allusions in poetry, identify the allusion and its source. Consider the context and purpose of the allusion. Think about how the allusion adds meaning or depth. Look for other poetic devices used in conjunction with allusion. Reflect on how the allusion engages the reader's prior knowledge. Symbols. Symbols. Symbols in poetry. Symbols in poetry are objects, colors, or images that represent abstract ideas. Abstract. Abstract ideas, concepts, or emotions beyond their literal meaning. They add depth, complexity, and layers to poetry, inviting readers to interpret and connect with the poem on a deeper level. Types of symbols in poetry. Universal symbols. First, universal symbols. Universal symbols are commonly recognized symbols. Example, heart for love, dove for peace. Second, cultural symbols. Specific to a culture or tradition. Example, cherry blossoms for Japanese fleeting life. Personal symbols. Unique to the poet or poem. Third, personal symbols. Unique to the poet or poem. Example, a specific flower or color. A specific flower or color. Fourth, contextual symbols. Contextual. Contextual symbols. Meaning depends on the poem's context. Example, a river might symbolize journey or transformation. Examples of symbols in poetry. William Wordsworth's I wandered lonely as a cloud. William Wordsworth's I wandered lonely as a cloud. Daffodils symbolize joy and beauty. In this poem, the daffodils symbolize joy and beauty. Second, Emily Dickinson's Because I Could Not Stop for Death. In this poem, the death's horse and carriage symbolize mortality. Third, Langston Hughes' The Negro Speaks of Rivers. In this poem, the rivers symbolize African American heritage and identity. Fourth, Sylvia Plath's Sylvia Plath's Plath's tulips. Tulips symbolize life, energy, and confinement. Fifth, Walt Whitman's Song of Myself. In this poem, the grass symbolizes democracy and equality. To analyze symbols in poetry, first you have to identify the symbol and its literal meaning. Second, consider the context and surrounding imagery. Third, think about the poet's intention and message. Fourth, look for repeated or clustered symbols. Fifth, reflect on how the symbol contributes to the poem's meaning and impact. Some tips for using symbols in your own poetry are: first, choose symbols that resonate with your theme or idea. Second, use symbols consistently or vary them to create layers. Third, consider the reader's interpretation and connection. Fourth, experiment with different types of symbols. Fifth, revise and refine your symbols for clarity and impact. Prosody in poetry. Prosody. Prosody. Prosody in poetry refers to the study of the sound and rhythm of language. Sound and rhythm of language. It involves the analysis of various elements such as meter, 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 pattern of stressed and unstressed syllables. Second, foot, foot, unit of meter consisting of a combination of syllables. Third, line length, number of feet per line. 4. Stanzas, grouping of lines. Grouping of lines. Rhyme, repetition of similar sounds. Fifth, rhyme, repetition of similar sounds. Sixth, alliteration, 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 repetition of initial consonant sounds. consonant, consonant sounds. Assonance, 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 repetition of vowel sounds. Consonants, consonance, consonants, repetition of consonant sounds within words. Enjambment, 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 continuation of a sentence or phrase into the next line without punctuation. Kesra, caesura, kesra, pause within a line. Understanding prosody helps readers and writers appreciate the musical quality of poetry and how it enhances the meaning and emotional impact of the words. Rhyme in poetry. RHYME, rhyme in poetry. Rhyme is a fundamental element in poetry where words with similar sounds are repeated at the end of lines. Rhyme serves several purposes. First, musicality. 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 Rhyme adds a musical quality, making poetry more engaging and enjoyable to read aloud. Second, structure. 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 Rhyme helps establish a poem's pattern and organization. Third, meaning. Rhyme can emphasize connection between words and ideas. Fourth, memory. Rhyme makes poetry more memorable as it creates a sense of familiarity and repetition. Types of rhyme. First, end rhyme. Most common type where the last syllables of words rhyme. Second, internal rhyme. Words within a line rhyme but not at the end. Third, perfect rhyme. Exact matching of sounds. Example, cat, hat. Slant rhyme. SLANT. Slant rhyme. Similar but not identical sounds. Example, day, way. Fifth, consonants. CONSONANCE. Consonants. Repetition of consonant sounds but not vowel sounds. Example, lamb, tomb. Poets use rhyme in various ways. First, couplets. 2-line stanzas with a rhyming scheme. Second, tercets. 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 3-line stanzas with a rhyming scheme. Third, rhyme schemes. Patterns of rhyme used throughout a poetry. Poets use rhyme in various ways. First, couplets. COUPLETS. Second, tercets. TERCETS. Third, rhyme schemes. RHYMESCHEMES. Rhyme can add richness, depth, and emotion to poetry. Analogy in poetry. ANALOGY. Analogy. Analogy in poetry is a literary device that compares two things that are not alike but share common characteristics or features. It's a way to explain complex ideas, create new understandings, and evoke emotions. Analogies. Analogies reveal connections between seemingly disparate things. DISPARATE. Disparate things. Creates vivid and memorable imagery. Explain abstract concept or ideas. Abstract. ABSTRACT. Abstract concept or ideas. Add depth, complexity, and layers to poetry. Encourage reader engagement and interpretation. 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 Types of analogies in poetry. Conceptual analogy. CONCEPTUAL. Conceptual analogy. Conceptual analogy compares abstract ideas or concepts. Sensory analogy. SENSORY. Sensory analogy compares sensory experiences. Example, sight, sound, touch. Relational analogy. RELATIONAL. Relational analogy compares relationships or interactions. Metaphorical analogy. METAPHORICAL. Metaphorical analogy compares two things without like or as. Compares two things without like or as. Examples of analogies in poetry. William Shakespeare's Shall I compare thee to a summer's day? Shall I compare thee? THEE. Shall I compare thee to a summer's day? Comparing a beloved to a summer's day. Emily Dickinson's Hope is the thing with feathers. Emily Dickinson's Hope is the thing with feathers. Comparing hope to a bird. Langston Hughes' The Negro Speaks of Rivers. The Negro Speaks of Rivers. It is about comparing rivers to the speaker's soul. Sylvia Plath's Tulips. Tulips. tulips, tulips, comparing tulips to flames. Walt Whitman's Song of Myself, comparing the self to a vast, sprawling universe. Vast, V-A-S-T, sprawling, S-P-R-A-W-L-I-N-G, sprawling universe. To analyze analogies in poetry, identify the two things being compared. Second, consider the common characteristics or features. Third, think about the purpose of the analogy. Fourth, look for other poetic devices used in conjunction with analogy. Fifth, reflect on how the analogy contributes to the poem's meanings.
Precision in poetry. Precision in poetry refers to the careful choice and arrangement of words to convey a specific meaning, image, or emotion. It involves using language in a deliberate and exacting way to achieve a particular effect or atmosphere. Some key elements of precision in poetry include imagery, using vivid and specific details to create powerful images in the reader's mind. Diction, selecting words with precise meanings and connotations to convey the intended message. Syntax, arranging words and phrases to control the flow and emphasis of the poem. Figurative language, using literary devices like metaphor, simile, and symbolism to add depth and complexity. Economy of language, using few words to convey a lot, avoiding unnecessary words or phrases. Poets who are known for their precision include T.S. Eliot, Emily Dickinson, Wallace Stevens, Sylvia Plath, and Seamus Heaney. Connotation in poetry. It refers to the emotional, cultural, or personal associations that words or phrases evoke beyond their literal meaning. These associations can influence the reader's interpretation and emotional response to the poem. Types of connotations. Positive connotation, words with pleasant or favorable associations. Example, love, home, and sunshine. Negative connotations, words with unpleasant or unfavorable associations. Example, hate, pain, and darkness. Neutral connotations, words without strong emotional associations. Example, table, chair, paper. Cultural connotations, words with meanings specific to a particular culture or group. Example, soul, food. In African American culture. Personal connotations, words with unique associations based on individual experiences or memories. Poets use connotations to create tone and atmosphere, evoke emotions and empathy, suggest complex ideas or themes, establish connections with the reader, add depth and layers to the poem. Examples of connotations in poetry. William Wordsworth's I Wandered Lonely as a Cloud, positive connotations of nature. Sylvia Plath's Tulips, negative connotations of illness and confinement. Langston Hughes, The Negro Speaks of Rivers, cultural connotations of African American heritage. To analyze connotations in poetry, consider the word's literal meaning, its emotional or cultural associations, the context in which it's used, the poet's intention and tone, your personal response to the word. Ambiguity in poetry. Ambiguity in poetry refers to the use of language that is open to multiple interpretations, allowing readers to draw their own conclusions or meanings. This can be achieved through vagueness, using words or phrases with unclear or broad meanings. Symbolism, employing symbols or metaphors with multiple possible interpretations. Imagery, creating images that can be understood in different ways. Syntax, using sentence structures that allow for multiple readings. Wordplay, utilizing puns, double meanings, or homophones to create ambiguity. Ambiguity can encourage reader engagement and interpretation, reflect the complexity of human experience, create a sense of mystery or intrigue, allow the multiple layers of meaning, Challenge readers' assumptions. Poets who often employ ambiguity include T.S. Eliot, Ezra Pound, Wallace Stevens, John Ashbery, and Sylvia Plath. Examples of ambiguous poetry include Eliot's The Waste Land, Pound's The Cantors, Stevens' The Emperor of Ice Cream, Ashbery's Self-Portrait in a Convict's Mirror, Plath's Tulips. Order in poetry. It refers to the arrangement of words, lines, and stanzas to create a sense of structure and organization. Poets use various techniques to establish order, including meter, a regular pattern of stressed and unstressed syllables; rhyme, the repetition of similar sounds at the end of lines; stanza, groups of lines separated by blank lines; line length, varying the length of lines to create a sense of rhythm; syntax, the arrangement of words and phrases to create a sense of flow; imagery, the use of vivid descriptions to create a sense of coherence; repetition, repeating words, phrases, or ideas to create unity; enjambment, the continuation of a sentence or phrase into the next line without punctuation. Order in poetry serves to create a sense of rhythm and musicality, guide the reader's attention and emphasis, convey meaning and emotion, establish a sense of balance and harmony, enhance the overall aesthetic appeal. Poets often disrupt or play with order to create tension or surprise, convey disorder or chaos, challenge readers' expectations, add complexity and depth, explore new forms and styles. Examples of poets who experimented with order include T.S. Eliot, Modernist Fragmentation, Walt Whitman, Free Verse, Emily Dickinson, Unconventional Capitalization and Punctuation, Allen Ginsberg, Beat Poetry's Spontaneous Flow, Sylvia Plath, Confessional Poetry's Intense Emotionality. Imagery in poetry. It refers to the use of language to create vivid sensory experiences for the reader. Poets use imagery to describe people, places, objects, and emotions. Appeal to the senses, sight, sound, touch, taste, smell. Create atmosphere and mood. Convey complex ideas and emotions. Engage the reader's imagination. Types of imagery. Visual imagery, sight, descriptions of what can be seen; auditory imagery, sound, descriptions of sounds and noises; tactile imagery, touch, descriptions of textures, temperatures, and sensations; olfactory imagery, smell, descriptions of scents and aromas; gustatory imagery, taste, description of flavors and tastes; kinesthetic imagery, movement, descriptions of physical sensations and movements. Poetic devices used to create imagery: metaphor, simile, personification, symbolism, hyperbole, onomatopoeia, alliteration, and assonance. Examples of imagery in poetry: William Wordsworth's I Wandered Lonely as a Cloud, visual imagery of nature; Edgar Allan Poe's The Bells, auditory imagery of bells; Sylvia Plath's Tulips, tactile imagery of hospital surroundings. To analyze imagery in poetry, consider the senses engaged, the words and phrases used to create the image, the context and purpose of the image, the poet's use of figurative language, the overall effect on the reader.